All right, welcome. I don't know why. I'm not going to try to bend it back. I'll just. But anyway, today we're working on that um, duster. I'm trying to get my mind in the game here. I'm looking around. But anyway, today, and so what we're going to do is we're going to. I got brand new C clips. I'll show you all this. Let me. So I got the brand new Dorman axle today for the passenger side on that for it. So anyway, I'm wondering if my microphone is working. Okay, I don't know if I got two microphones going here at once now. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, here's the new axle. It came with no studs, so I knocked out the studs of the old axle, which they pushed out really good and easy, and I pushed new ones in. I used the socket and a lug nut and a big nut, and then I torqued them up until they came through all the way, so looks okay. So now what we got to do is we got to put some grease onto this surface. So I got that over here. So let's just dig our hands in there. I was going to put my gloves back on, but see that's a little late. And we'll just rub some grease on this here. Just a little pre-seal or pre-lube or whatever you want to call it here. So then let's turn this. Okay, so that's where it's got to go. This is kind of hard video again for me to video. Here, I got to wipe my grease off my finger. I'm extremely tired today. I don't know why. I think the heat's got me down. So what I'm going to do though, I wonder if I should just back up or not here. Let's see, I'm trying to think how I should film this. We'll slide the axle and then I'll try to show you. So now this is the passenger side axle I bought, you know, for the driver's side. And it's, I'm going to be careful about putting it in there so we don't wreck the seal. Come on, baby. You're new. Okay, so there it is. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to beat it a little bit that way. Just like that. I got to wipe my hands off again because I just touched all that grease. Huh, I got to say my microphone here. Why is this acting so strange, everything? I don't understand this. Oh well. Well, whatever. I don't know. Maybe we're not even recording nothing now. But anyway, I pushed that all the way in. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I got a bad microphone, I think. I think it's trying to communicate with this other one. But we'll see. Okay, let's see, how can we record this? Let's unpause it for now. Okay, so what we got here, I'll show you the old C-clip here. Let me wipe it off. And, the old one has got wear in it, but it isn't bad. So the old C-clip is right here. You can see the wear in it on each side. Now there's a way to put these in when they're punched out of the metal. Let's see, let me see if I can turn this a little bit more so I can do this. You can see this side is like flat and cut off like that, but you see the top, it's round. So the press came in from this way when they pressed these out. So what you want to do is you want to keep this towards the ring gear, okay? They should both face in, this edge should face the middle, okay? And I'll show you here on the new one from Yukon Gear, it's the same way. You see how it's kind of round here on these edges? Then if you flip it over, you see it's flat. You want that flat edge towards the ring gear on the driver's side. Okay? In other words, you want the round edge facing inward towards one another on the opposite. Oh, it's so hard to explain. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So what we'll do here is I'm going to put a little lube on it. Now, you can see, let me bring this out. Okay, this is the top of the rear end that's just swung down. That's the driver's side, or also known as the left side. So you want these pins to face one another. Like this will go into this side, and then the other one went on the other side, So you want them to face one another. So the round edge, I don't know how to explain it. But I'll show you here in a minute about the lock. What I do is I throw a little grease on these. So when they start swinging around and moving around, they got a little lube on them so you don't wear them out right away. Okay. So I got that on there. Boy, this is just, I can't believe how hard it is for me to show you guys this. I wonder if I can turn this up a little bit. Nope, wrong way. There we go, maybe. That LED frequency of light is messing out the camera. So, man, I need a new rig and I can't grab one right now. So anyway, we push the axle all the way in. So you can see where the C-clip's gonna go right here. Actually, I might have pushed it in a little too far because now I don't know if I can get it out a little bit. Come on. You're not gonna go that easy. Okay, there it goes. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll get the axle to go back out here, if we can. Okay. We'll make sure the C-clip's all the way on there. Then that goes back. Okay. I don't know if you've seen that. You probably did. Okay, so let's see, both of them in. Then you gotta make sure you gotta look both sides there. I did the other side earlier. I believe I got it in. So now the next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the lock pin in. Okay? And what that is right here. So now the lock pin, it's got this hole here that goes through. And what happens is that I got the lock pin upside down right now, but just to show you. But then this other pin that'll go into there. Okay? And this bolt. So what we'll do, what I'll do, I'll drop the lock pin in. Okay, on the carrier right here is where this bolt will go in. Slide that in there. Okay, but this hole on the lock pin, you can see now I'm sliding it through. But you see that hole there? Right here? We'll turn it so that way, because this little nub of this bolt will go through that to hold that into place. So we'll line that, we'll turn it so it lines up there. And then I'm gonna slide this through the side of the case here, or the spider gear cage, or whatever you want to call it. And I'll bring this down. And work my way, oh, there we go. Okay, now when that bolt went in, right here, see now it went into there. See, and then, and the pin went through, so that must mean, see the axle shafts are up against it now, the tips. See now the axle shafts can't repel in, so C-clips come out with that pin in there. That large pin that I just pushed in there. Now we'll tighten up this right here, this little pin. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best here. So let's tighten that up. That's got to be torqued to 15 to 30 foot-pounds, but people usually try around that 22 foot-pounds. You don't want to snap that off. You don't want to snap that off. I think that's an 8mm head on there, if I'm right. I don't think it's 6. Okay, there it is. What do I got here? 8mm, I guess. So now we got to tighten that down to about well, the manual says 15 to 30 foot-pounds, but technicians usually try to get it around 22. And don't forget to put the Loctite on there. Just put a little dab of Loctite on it. So let's, I gotta get set up here, don't I? For that little torque wrench. Okay, I got the torque wrench set at 22. And everything wants to turn. You can't hold nothing here. Okay. I gotta double check it here. Okay, there it is. I got maybe about 26, 22. 15 to 30 they like to see. Okay. And all that's done. So now, let's see. Now let's show you that lock bolt area. Right there. Now you can see it. So you want to torque this between 15 to 30 foot-pounds. Okay? Don't over torque it. You'll snap it off. Then you got to try to drill that out of there. So I went about 26 on mine, you know. So now let's go back to the... Okay. So now you can look here. And I can see... You can kind of see the C-clip in there and on the right axle. I mean, the right side, although that's the... Oh, it's so confusing. It's the driver's side one, you know, but I mean, on the right side of the screen, let's say that. Now we'll tap that all the way in. Now you can see the axle hits the hits that pin, but it doesn't allow the axle to come back far enough to allow the C-clip to fall out of there. Okay? So you can see that now, how that works. And that's the driver's side axle, by the way. Then we turn and we look at the passenger side axle, if I can get this crap out of my way here. Now you can see the passenger side axle too. See, that's all the way up against the pin. So that's what, there you can see it a little better now. Yeah, there you go, huh? But it's up against the pin, so it doesn't allow the C-clip to come out. But when you pull that center pin out, then it allows the axles to go in towards one another, which in turn creates the C-clip to fall out. So, anyway. So you want to inspect it all. But it is amazing how far out that axle. Well. So what I'm doing is I'm just inspecting. I know the light's in the way, but I can't help that. I have to see what I'm doing here. Let's go on this right once. Can I see it better that way? Oh yeah. So yeah, so there it is. So the axles are in now. So now we got the axles in. I got the brakes ordered. So we have to, I'll do a video on the brakes too, how we're gonna adapt that over for the mopar A body here, you know. So on the previous videos, you can see when we put the seals in, the bearings in, how we narrowed it. If you look at the previous videos, go back on the channel, and they're in the Duster build section. So on the playlist, and then you can see that. What we're gonna do here, I'm not gonna film this. I'm gonna clean just this crap off of here. Then I'm gonna take the rear end cover, which is laying right there, and I'm gonna paint it aluminum color. So, and then I'll bolt that back on there, and then we'll fill it with the 2.5, 3/4 of fluid, whatever it takes, with the Posi lube. So we'll do that, and then yeah, and then we'll start adapting the brakes over to the A body. We'll put the spring pads on when we get it in the car here, and so just keep watching. And hit the notification bell when a new video comes out, and you can watch it. Under here is where we cut it on the driver's side. We cut the driver's side tube so we could put another passenger side axle on this side. So we narrowed one side of the axle housing. And if you look at the previous videos, you can see all that. So now you can see the new axle in there and all that stuff. So anyway, we'll leave it as that for now. Meanwhile, I'm going to clean up that cover, paint that aluminum, put that on. You guys don't need to watch that. I'll put the identification tags back on it so we don't lose them. And then the housing will be ready to go in the car. But I got the brakes ordered, the disc brakes and all that stuff. So then we'll be able to see that. And I got to stop here and I got to clean this mess up. This is a mess right here. I can't handle that. I have to stop and clean. So anyway, please like and subscribe, and pretty soon we'll be putting her in there. So, and then I'll show you all that. So take care and have a great weekend, guys, gals. Bye bye.